If you could wave a wand, Dabo Swinney, or be in charge of the entirety of the sport and could make a rule change, what would that be?
Oh, man. On the field or off the field?
Let's go on the field first up.
On the field, I'd probably do away with the double team on the kickoff return. That'd probably be, the one thing. I think we've made some progress there. I think that's probably coming. I'd probably, do that. We still can come together and kind of have that double team block, and that's probably the toughest play out there, where I think still a chance for guys getting hurt and things like that. That's a tough play. I think if we made it more single blocks, it'd be a little bit more like a punt return as opposed to those wedge blocks. So that'd probably be the biggest one for me.
And what about off the field?
Off the field, man, I got a bunch of those I'd like to change. But I'd love one. I was just because it's fresh on my mind. One I was just thinking about today. I was talking to a guy at practice, but I would love to, because we're just coming off a scrimmage this morning, and in college we're the only level of football, youth league, middle school, high school, pros. We're the only level of football that we don't get any type of jamboree or preseason game, or we can't go scrimmage against somebody else, and we don't even have to scrimmage. We can't even practice against somebody else. And I've never understood that. We do it at every other level. Why? And even basketball at this level, has a couple of closed scrimmages against other teams, and just like in the pros, you can go practice against somebody else. I think you'd have a little better chance to evaluate your team. Even if you had a preseason jamboree or something, where you could get a little scrimmage work against somebody that's not your guy. Because, for me, when we go scrimmage, all 22 on the field, somebody grabs an ankle, they're all mine. I'm 100% invested in, and each other. You're very familiar with each other. That's one of the things that I would like to see, even if it was just a practice where we could do some one-on-one pass rush and some inside drill and 7-on-7 against somebody other than your team. At least once in the fall camp. I think that would be great.
Well, maybe something like that could be done in conjunction with getting rid of conference championship games and adding a playoff team or four.
Oh, you never know. You never know. I don't know what's going to happen down the road, but I think all that part is probably, pretty much set in stone, I think, till 26, and then they'll review it again and go from there. But I think if you expanded the playoffs, you definitely would have to, change, because to me, right now, any of the championships, ACC, SEC, whatever, it is a playoff game. Because if you lose it, there's probably a good chance you're going to be out, maybe a rare occasion. So I think something would have to change there if they ever did expand it.
Would you be up for the expansion of it? I normally ask that of coaches who aren't in it almost every damn year, but would you be up for it?
Yeah, I actually like what we have. I really do. I'm kind of traditional in that way. I love college football. I think we already have that, and that's pro football, where you got the playoffs, and I think that. You even see it in the pros now, where some of these teams that are in, maybe that last game, they already know they're in the playoff. They just sit guys, they don't play them, and the game's not as meaningful. And I think that makes college football very unique in that every single game matters, and it's really unique. I think we have a good balance. I grew up in the bowls, and I loved going to bowls as a player, and I still like watching them, some of the random matchups and all that stuff. So I think we've got a good balance. I know a lot of people want to see the playoff go to 8 or even more. But I think it's been a pretty good balance, and college football is probably as popular as it's ever been, and I personally think the more you go, the more watered down it'll get. But whatever they say do, that's what we'll adjust to go do, and that's my job is to go compete. But I think we have a good balance of a little of the playoff taste and kind of figuring out, okay, who's number one, as opposed to just the old-fashioned way of just voting them number one and then the computer doing it. It's kind of getting settled on the field, and then but still having the bowl experience and the opportunity there as well.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.